Right now, intimidating text messages sent to voters. What Wisconsin law says about texts like these.
Plus, Madison school superintendent discussed the upcoming referendum, what he wants voters to know before heading to the polls. Good morning and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on this Wednesday. I'm Kyrie Unley.
And I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for tuning in. It's a cold morning that we've been talking about. You know, temps down to the 20s in a lot of spots out there. How'd you handle it this morning?
You know, I'm actually okay. You know, this was nothing, you know. Got to get real down on those temperatures for me to start shivering.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah, I was just, you know, soaking in the heat in my car this morning. I didn't even want to get out to walk to the building because it was that cold. But apparently this isn't called for Chris.
There are going to be mornings like this, that's for sure.
Yes.
Hey, it's just a little taste of what's around the corner eventually. Brief, though, Savannah. She's got her hat on this morning. I doubt you're going to need that going forward much longer.
Yeah, no. Nighttime temperatures are actually going to really start to warm back up well past freezing level. But we're under that this morning. That's why we have a freeze warning in effect until 9 a.m. That's for most of the area and most of southern Wisconsin. You can see just to our northwest, there are areas that are not included in this, like Black River Falls and Camp Douglas. The reason why, they already saw that first freeze warning last week and their first widespread frost. So yes, temperatures are still cool even though they're not included in that freeze warning. 31 now, we're down to under freezing level in Madison, 29 though in Middleton. There are several areas that are below freezing level. Most of us there, not east towards the lake. There are warmer temperatures that are even in the upper 30s in Milwaukee. But everyone else, Janesville, Monroe's at freezing level. Janesville's down to 30. We got plenty of mid to upper 20s when you factor in the wind chill, which, by the way, not across most of southern Wisconsin because winds are calm, but we do have one here at the airport. Those are down to the mid 20s, and even the teens in a couple areas. Actual air temperature at 16 only this morning in Black River Falls. But like I mentioned, there are warmer temperatures near the future, in the near future on the horizon. We'll talk about those 70s actually coming up.
All right, Savannah, thank you. To our 3 for the People coverage now. Former President Barack Obama and Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz are set to visit Madison next week.
The pair will be in town on Tuesday. That's the same day early voting opens in Wisconsin. A time and location has not been released. This rally comes amidst various stops by top Democrats to the Badger State. Those include First Lady Jill Biden and the Minnesota governor earlier this week. The vice president will stop in 3 Wisconsin cities tomorrow.
Meantime, Wisconsin senatorial candidate Eric Hovde will host a campaign cookout and concert today. It'll be at the Five Bridges Farm in Oregon at 6:30. He'll be joined by Senators John Kennedy and John Barrasso. Attendance is free.
Republicans are pouring money into the Wisconsin Senate race. The GOP has invested $21 million in ad buys through Election Day. Most of that money comes from the Senate Leadership Fund, a super PAC aligned with Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Meanwhile, Democrats are only slated to spend $15 million between now and Election Day. And the race is really a toss-up and could determine whether Democrats maintain the majority in the state. And you'll be able to hear from both candidates on Friday. Hovde and incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin will face off in their first and only debate. You can watch that right here on WISC-TV and our sister station, TVW. We'll also have debate coverage with analysis before and after, and you can watch that on our streaming app, Channel 3000+.
A college student received a text about voting that she found vaguely threatening, which could be illegal.
It warned her not to vote in a state where she wasn't eligible. She's 21 years old and registered to vote here in Wisconsin, but attends school in Tennessee. Our Michelle Renee Quinn is here to negate the fear of legal and financial repercussions for valid voters. Good morning.
Good morning, and that's right. The district attorney has told News 3 that this is not the first case of vaguely threatening texts to Wisconsin voters. And according to Wisconsin law, any false device or tactic intended to impede or dissuade a person from voting can be ruled as voter intimidation, which is a felony. Local election officials have to send any reports of potential election fraud or irregularity to the district attorney.
If they are attempting to make these threats or discourage people from voting in an illegal way, that's a felony. It's a Class I felony. It carries a penalty of up to $10,000 or 3 years and 6 months imprisonment. So it's serious.
He says if you get the same text or one similar, contact your municipal clerk.
Now, these texts didn't stop the college student from voting absentee. If anybody has any questions about their eligibility or where they should be voting, where should they go?
Once again, you can always contact your municipal clerk, or myvote.wi.gov will have all of the information of where you're allowed to vote, when, all of that stuff. So definitely check out that resource, especially if you're a Wisconsin voter.
All right, Michelle Renee Quinn, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Well, another item on the ballot this fall for Madison voters is that big Madison school referendum. The superintendent is laying out the stakes. There's a question for operational costs and one to upgrade schools. And as we've reported, approving the referendums would cost property taxpayers about $3,800 spread out over 4 years. That's for the average Madison property. Superintendent Joe Gothard asking voters to help out to avoid harder choices later on. He says some of the progress that the district's made would have to be revisited if the operational referendum does not pass.
We've invested a lot in teachers to make sure that we can keep class sizes down. Mental health support for students, which has been, in some cases a crisis around the country.
You can see more of that conversation on Sundays for the Record.
We have new information on the money school districts are getting from the state this year. General school aids are the largest form of state support for pre-K through 12 schools in the state. The 2023 to 2025 state biennial budget increased funding for those aids, bringing a total to more than $5 billion. Most general aid comes in the form of equalization aid. It's distributed in a way to help communities educate kids despite different property wealth across school districts. Now let's take a look at this. Of those, more than 66% will receive more aid this year than they did last year. A third of Wisconsin schools will receive less. In Madison, general aid increased by about 62% from last year. Monona Grove got a 20% increase. Now over in Middleton Cross Plains Area School District, they received less general aid this year by about 3%. And in Waunakee, they received less general aid also, but just by less than 1%.
The U.S. To the war in the Middle East now. The U.S. is demanding that Israel increase humanitarian aid to Gaza. They say that they've slowed or stopped nearly all humanitarian assistance over the last month. And the U.S. warns that if that doesn't change in 30 days, Israel could see a pause in vital military assistance. This comes as the anti-missile defense system and the American troops to operate it have now begun to arrive in Israel. Meanwhile, Israel's defense minister promising a response to Iranian attacks. All of this as fighting in Gaza and Lebanon continue.
In North Carolina, the governor says 92 people are still missing nearly 3 weeks after Hurricane Helene hit. This is in addition to the 125 people killed in the state. Jessica Mettinger's mom, Kim Ashby, is among one of them. Floodwaters ripped Ashby from her husband's arms when Helene hit.
It's hard to truly grieve a person without a body and move on from this. We feel stuck. It leaves some sort of window open for hope, but without a body, it's hard to let yourself fully believe that because you want to hope. I mean, that's the human condition.
So many like Mettinger are hoping their loved ones will be found, but amid piles of mud and debris, there's a fear that it may never happen.
Hurricane Milton hit a record in how quickly it went from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane. Now, there's 3 elements that make a perfect cyclone: low wind shear, high moisture in the air, and warm water temperatures. Both Helene and Milton developed in the Gulf of Mexico, where temperatures are 7 to 8 degrees warmer than normal during this time of year. The cause, according to local scientists, climate change.
Global warming, the greenhouse effect is heating the atmosphere. And the ocean, of course, responds to the air above it, right? It doesn't generate its own heat. It equilibrates.
In addition to how strong a storm can get in warmer waters, there is evidence that climate change can also affect their track.
Take a look at this video here of the Northern Lights in Wisconsin. If you missed the Northern Lights this week, don't worry. Scientists expect more solar storms, so that means more chances to see them light up the sky. Space weather forecasters also say to expect northern lights in unusual places as the sun continues to sizzle. And I still yet have to see the northern lights. I have not seen them yet.
I want to see them like this with the visible eye, and there were even places in Arizona that
Isn't that wild?
reported that. Sedona, yeah.
Yeah, right. A lot of people are saying what you were, Savannah, that it's hard to see them with the naked eye, but if you get your phone out and you adjust the settings, they show up like this.
Yeah, your exposure, you turn that 3-second timer or whatever it is on, and then, you know, you're able to see it. But there are places well north of here in northern Wisconsin that you could see it with the visible eye, and even places that were surrounding here, but I couldn't this weekend.
Ah, that's okay. There's other chances.
Exactly. I'll have to travel somewhere where you can't see that.
Plan accordingly.
Yeah. Well, it's chilly outside this morning. We have that freeze warning in place until 9 a.m. across most of the area. That's expected with the dropping temperatures. Winds right now calm, but our temperature down to 31, which is below freezing level. We'll talk about the warm-up coming up.
And later, with flu season upon us, it's time to get my annual vaccine. I'll show you just how easy it is and why now is the time to protect your family.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning, brought to you by Toyota.
Dear road rivals, no truck on the road drives value like the Tundra. Day after day, mile after mile, it all adds up to big savings under the hood. What's under yours? Toyota Tundra.
Right now, lease a new Tundra for $479 a month or get 3.99% APR for 72 months on a new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits?
I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
After my son was born, I was having a hard time leaving him, only being able to see him once before going to work and then once before bed. That's just not enough time.
At my old job, my entire check went to daycare to pay to be away from my child. We bring our kids with us in the mornings and they ride with us on our routes and then they go to school.
I'm on a route where I'm the one dropping my kids off at school. It's been phenomenal.
Being able to bring them with me has been really great for our family.
4 years ago, rioters set this Minneapolis police station on fire, trying to burn me and my fellow police officers alive. Governor Tim Walz left us for dead. And Kamala Harris?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone beware. They're not going to let up, and they should not.
She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding the police. Kamala sold cops out and put families at risk. Kamala Harris is too weak and too dangerous to be president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Indulgent chocolate with a luscious caramel filling. Discover Ghirardelli caramel squares in a bag and a bar. Makes life a bite better.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Pick and Save. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $2 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
6:14 on your Wednesday. Winter may be a couple of months away, but climate experts are already predicting it will be a lot different than last year. That's because of a La Nina weather pattern. It's marked by cooler average ocean temperatures, which could mean more precipitation than normal. Experts say La Nina will likely develop by November and stick around until early spring.
You ready for it?
No, I'm not ready for it.
Oh my gosh, doesn't this look like fun?
I mean, like I was just talking about like how the winters have been so mild.
That does look like fun.
Then I come to Wisconsin for the first time, and now we're talking about different patterns. Just beautiful.
You know, it is, I think, the most beautiful here when we've got a fresh white blanket of snow.
Okay.
I really do. It is. You look outside, and it's just gorgeous.
He was shoveling in shorts. Did you guys see that last image?
And?
Do you do that, Chris?
I mean, it depends. Yeah.
He goes, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Deny that I've ever done it.
Not me. If I have to shovel, I'll be in snow pants, the winter boots, the gloves, a scarf blocking half my face where you can just see the eyes. No, not me. You would not catch me doing that. Well, wintertime La Nina pattern, at least for us, that actually is forecast to bring us a near normal winter pattern, at least here across southern Wisconsin. For areas just to our northwest, a cooler than normal pattern, a wetter pattern just for areas southeast of here across central, southern, also Illinois, and then a dry pattern for the deep south and southwestern portions of the United States. That's based on also jet stream patterns, so we can expect, and that also goes with what the Weather Prediction Center's winter outlook goes. A lot of forecasters and meteorologists put that together for November, December, and then also into January. So it might be similar to what we had a couple of years ago when we were entering a La Nina pattern, and that's expected, like we said, to develop by late fall. 31 currently in Madison, 32 in McFarland, 30 in Middleton. We have a couple of upper 20s, though, at least across Dane County, Sauk City, and then Cross Plains sitting as low as 29. 27 in the Dells. How about that 17, though, in Black River Falls? It is a very chilly start to our morning with most areas below freezing level. But when you factor in the wind chill, this has fluctuated over the last hour. 19 is what it feels like down in Lone Rock. There's not a wind chill in Black River Falls, nor here in Madison. That has not been the case all morning long. This just depends on what our wind speeds are at, and that right now is calm in Madison, which is why we're not seeing a wind chill. Lone Rock, though, is up to 7 miles per hour. So really, once you get past that 5 mile per hour threshold, you start to factor in those wind chills, and that's what it feels like outside. Not actual air temperatures, but just what that feels like with wind chills factored in. So that's expected to fluctuate through the morning as temperatures, air temperatures, do still continue to fall. This is one of the last mornings. Tomorrow morning will be the last morning with near freezing level temperatures. We'll start to slowly climb back up. We even have some 70s that are going to return in the forecast, and roughly a dry pattern, which is unfortunate because we still are under a moderate drought, including a lot of southern Wisconsin. 33 tonight. Check out our temperature highs, though. 63 on Thursday, and then how about that 68 Friday? Got lots of 70s in the forecast. Lower to mid 70s at best, but those are definitely welcomed. Then we're back to fall by Wednesday.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
You're welcome.
6:17. Time to slow things down, see what's going on in the 608 this morning with our Josh Brighter.
Josh, what do you have going on today?
Well, guys, it has become a tradition for me here on News 3 Now this morning over the years. Flu season is quickly approaching, which means shots in arms. Unity Point Health invited me out to once again roll up my sleeve at their Middleton clinic. Well, it is officially time for my yearly visit with Joanna Hubrechts, a nurse practitioner here at Unity Point Health. Meredith, Joanna, good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Can't believe it's that time of the year, but now is the time to get the flu shot.
Yep, time's flying by, and it is definitely flu season now.
So now we're into October, so this is the time that you're kind of recommending folks get in and get that shot in the arm.
That's right. This is the beginning of flu season. This is the best time to get it done. It takes about 2 weeks to get immunity from getting the vaccine, so this is the time.
How is this year shaping up as far as flu?
Well, it sounds like it's going to be pretty much the usual, and so flu season has not started early, so that tells us we'll start really ramping up on cases in November again as usual.
And now that's why this is the time to do it.
That's right.
Very good. And you're showing it just how easy this is. We do this every year, and this really does not take a lot of time at all. So show us through the ropes here.
Yeah, no time at all. So just make sure that all is clean and good. Make sure we have nice spare arm. You got a good muscle there to
making it easy with the
vaccine in.
T-shirt for you this year. Sometimes I make you work for it. So
That's true. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm getting mine later today, so I also have a little bit more of a short sleeve.
There
as
you
well.
go.
All right, and before you can even count to 2, it'll be all done.
Remember, I always hate needles, so I just have to look away. But there it is. I didn't even feel it.
That was it, and you're not even bleeding. Do you want a Band-Aid just
You know,
in
I'm
case?
probably okay. So yeah, we're gonna tough it out today. So now's the time. So get in, get that appointment made, and this is for, I mean, your whole family, right? Keeping your family safe.
Absolutely. We want to keep ourselves safe, our families and extended families, keep away from hospitalization and death and really bad illness.
And that's what you guys are here for, right? To help us out through that.
That's right.
Very good, Joanna. Thank you so much. We always appreciate your time here.
No problem.
So if I can overcome my fear of needles, you can too.
Tis the season.
Sanford's seen me over the years. I do not do well with needles.
I will say you have gotten a lot better.
A lot better.
With this.
See, we all grow. But notice I like turned my head away right away when I was doing that because I was like, nope, I can't.
Helps when you got those guns to show off.
She did say, she's like, the muscles help. So she's like, you're not going to have any problem.
I was like, you probably didn't even feel it.
It was arm day that day.
Okay. Oh, he had to flex. That's why he wanted to do this, really. He had to flex on us one time for the one time. Okay.
Give the people what they want.
Exactly.
Thanks for going through that once again for us, Josh. Josh is always looking for inspirational stories to share with you folks. You have an idea for them? Reach out and let them know about it.
Well, still ahead, we're talking holiday shopping.
We're back after this.
Closed captioning sponsored by Community Shares of Wisconsin's Workplace Giving Campaign.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
What have we got?
The Andersons. All night tossing and turning, bad backs, sleep score at an all-time low.
Round up the team.
At Denver Mattress, going undercover is literally how we solve problems.
And when we find sleepers waking up with aches and pains, we turn to the Tempur-Pedic Adapt, designed for ultimate pressure relief that uniquely adapts to your body's pressure points. The Tempur Adapt features innovative technology, so you get deep, undisturbed rest all night long.
Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
Stanton Optical believes eye care should be affordable. Right now, for only $135, you get 2 pairs of progressives, plus all this. All that costs over $200 everywhere else. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical, easy's our thing. Welcome to Too Good to Guess. Can you guess how much 2 pairs of progressives, a free eye exam, and anti-glare lens upgrade will cost at Stanton Optical? Only $135? Wow, a deal so good, every customer wins. Book your eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
I can honestly say that Cardinal has never let me down.
I definitely recommend Cardinal Heating and Air Conditioning because of the professionalism.
Cardinal will always be my first call for anything that Cardinal does.
I think we're going to continue to use Cardinal for a long time.
When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line. When victory alone isn't enough, you keep dreaming and go beyond what's possible. The Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Part of our most rugged lineup yet.
Learning to play better golf can be a challenge for anyone, so let PGA professional Joel Weitz improve your play the fundamental way with simple 1-minute golf tips. Fridays on News 3 Now at noon. Brought to you by Vitense Golfland.
Have you heard Eric Hovde?
I am totally opposed to abortion.
I am totally opposed to politicians telling women what we can do.
Extremists all over the country have passed abortion bans.
Criminal penalties for doctors. No exceptions for rape or incest.
Women are dying just trying to get health care.
There are even restrictions in Wisconsin. This has to stop.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
We are totally opposed to Eric Hovde. I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Time now 6:24. Here is a photo from Marlene. She got a shot of the rare comet. Take a look at that beauty there.
So I guess we're going to have a few more days to see this, too. It's going to be hanging around. It comes around every 80,000 years. So if you missed it this time, that'll be it.
Be your great-grandchildren. I don't even know.
Skies are going to be mostly clear, so get out and see that.
Yes, continue to send in those photos.
Hey, trending this morning, it's Global Cat Day. I know we've got one cat owner on the couch.
That would be me.
Yeah, Michelle, what do you got there?
This is a little Jack. It's a little felt cutout of my cat.
Handmade?
Handmade, yes. We glued on some eyes. Yep.
Very nice. Well, Global Cat Day is observed every October 16th. It offers a chance to raise awareness about non-lethal feline management programs. And there, do we miss Jack?
Yeah,
Jack was already on there with the pumpkin.
So cute. That was my baby, and these are other people's babies, but they're beautiful kitties.
Hey, if you're willing to learn more, contact the Dane County Humane Society or the Madison Cat Project. All right, we got about 70 shopping days until Christmas, folks, and there's a new retail survey out that finds that consumers are feeling rather optimistic about the economy. Consumers surveyed plan to spend an average of $1,778 this year. That's up 8% over last year. And the average number of gifts is up from 8 to 9 this year. 9 gifts. That would be nice.
Santa's around.
Well, yeah. You know.
That Santa's a busy guy.
I try to do it big like that. That's okay.
Yeah, well, it kind of feels like winter morning today with temperatures below freezing. Not the best, but we'll talk about the warm-up that's on its way.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
These Baldwin ads are nasty.
I can't stand them.
She never tells the truth. Now she says Eric Hovde wants to raise the retirement age.
That's malarkey.
I saw in the news Social Security will be going bankrupt in 8 years.
Are you kidding? We need Social Security.
You're surprised? Washington spends money like crazy.
And Baldwin supports all of it.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
You better get a job.
You get a job.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
The right to vote is the foundation of democracy. For decades, we have been forced to fight voter suppression to increase voter turnout in the black community, while overcoming barriers designed to undermine voter participation. The NAACP of Wisconsin believes your vote matters, and we urge you to double-check your voter information at myvotewisconsin.gov. In-person absentee voting begins Tuesday, October 22nd. Now let's be all in to vote on November 5.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Fields Volvo Cars Madison has the Volvo you want in stock and ready to drive home today. So stop by Fields Volvo Cars Madison and take a test drive.
Plus, you'll be part of Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, and gourmet coffee service.
And right now is a great time to get an offer like this.
Get 3.99% APR financing for up to 72 months on 2024 and 2025 Volvo XC40, XC60, and XC90 models at Fields Volvo Cars Madison. Go to volvocarsmadison.com.
You don't need to battle addiction alone. Contact the great people at Wood Violet Recovery today. You could be on your way to recovery the same day. Wood Violet Recovery works with a wide range of insurance networks, so a large portion of your treatment may be covered. Wood Violet Recovery will create the treatment plan that best suits your needs. Unlike other rehab facilities, phones and laptops are welcome. Today may feel dark, but there's a brighter tomorrow. Contact Wood Violet Recovery now.
Hi, I'm Sue Jenick, League of Women Voters of Dane County President. Know who you are going to vote for and why. Think about your values and what is important to you and your family. Seek out information about the candidates. On October 22nd, the League of Women Voters will publish candidates' answers outlining their beliefs and priorities for voters.
3 things to know. Part of News 3 Now's 3 Cares Community Impact.
20 days to go, and we have a new Marquette Law School poll. We'll break down what voters are thinking about the presidential candidates.
Plus, we look at the candidates' plans for families and children. Find out how recent cultural trends play a role.
A good hump day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Lee. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Halfway through the week, halfway through the month, just halfway through everything.
Yeah, I know. It's the 16th already.
October's trying to get right on up out of here.
I know. We're on the back end of the month already. Let's check into Savannah Brito. It's feeling like what we should be in November. We had this blast of cold air come through. It's still hanging around.
Yeah, it's definitely still hanging around. Tomorrow morning's still going to be cool, but not as cool as what we're seeing fall across the area. 29 now in Madison. That's not as cool as with the wind chill factored in, but most areas across southern Wisconsin do not have a chill factored in. That's because our wind speeds are calm. When you start to get them above that 5, 6, 7 mile per hour threshold, that's when you factor in a wind chill. Right now at the airport of Madison, we don't because wind speeds are on the lighter side. A little warmer though this afternoon as we head for that lunchtime hour. Temperatures are going to be pushing that 50-degree mark. Most of us just achieved right about 50 yesterday. We will be in the mid-50s this afternoon and then even warmer air the next couple of days. This is what I was talking about with the wind chills. Winds right now are calm in Madison, but just to our southwest, Monroe, 8 miles per hour, and then Lone Rock, 7 miles per hour. So you can see what areas likely have a wind chill compared to those that don't, which I'll show our current wind chills in just a little bit. Little to no rain going forward, but I'll talk also about the day we could see some shower chances, at least return across southern Wisconsin. All that's coming up a little later.
All right, talk then, Savannah. Now to our 3 for the People coverage. Presidential campaigns are turning to key swing states and putting their surrogates out there to campaign for the ticket. And there is another big name that's about to visit our area.
Former President Barack Obama is scheduled to campaign in Madison next week for the Harris-Walz ticket. He'll join VP nominee Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on Tuesday. That's the same day early voting opens in Wisconsin. The campaign has not announced a time or location. Former President Obama previously visited Wisconsin to campaign for Mandela Barnes. That's when the former lieutenant governor ran for U.S. Senate. It comes after First Lady Jill Biden made a stop in Madison on Monday.
Meantime, Vice President Kamala Harris is returning to the state. She is expected to speak in 3 towns, Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay tomorrow. Like with Obama's visit, there are not yet any details on times and locations. It'll be the nominee's 6th visit to the state since accepting the endorsement.
The Trump campaign today is focusing on North Carolina. Vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will rally supporters in Wilmington. Alongside that visit, other campaign surrogates will begin traveling across the state to meet supporters. But before that, Vance will hold a rally in Williamsport, Pennsylvania this afternoon. That visit is expected to focus on the economy and energy policy.
New this morning, the latest presidential poll from Marquette Law School is out.
And our Michelle Renee Quinn is here to break down the numbers. Good morning.
Good morning. And that's correct. This poll, much like the last one, shows a high enthusiasm of Republican and Democratic voters. However, enthusiasm among independents is low. In the race for president, Marquette's poll shows likely voters support Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris 48% compared to Republican former President Donald Trump at 47%. Now that's with 4% saying they would vote for someone else and 1% who would not be casting a vote for president at all. Now, when it comes to the favorability of trends, both Harris and Trump are over 50% unfavorable among registered voters.
Boy, it is just getting tighter and tighter as we get closer and closer to Election Day, less than 3 weeks away now.
Yep.
All right, Michelle, Renee, thank you.
Absolutely.
Continuing our 3 for the People coverage this morning, this week's deep dive includes a topic that a lot of you folks out there can relate with, and that is families and children.
Both sides of the aisle are acknowledging the need for reform. Vice President Harris has said she supports a child tax credit of up to $6,000. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance says there should be more options in child care when receiving federal money. Both platforms aim to address child care's high price and low accessibility. One family physician says there has been a shift in the desire to have kids.
Less of the younger adults, and when we do talk to younger adults, it seems to be pretty congruent with what's been, presented in the media with the reasons why younger people are not having either as many or any kids now.
The CDC says birth rates for women aged 20 to 24 declined 7% from 2021 to 2022.
Today is the last day to register to vote online or by mail. Anyone who has moved, even to a new apartment in the same building, has to re-register. If you don't register online, you can still do so in person at absentee voting sites. They open for voting this Tuesday and then close on November 1st. You can also register on Election Day. In that case, you'll need to bring proof of residency. You can check your registration status on myvote.wi.gov.
Middleton voters will decide on a referendum asking to maintain the current stormwater utility tax. Middleton taxpayers approved a temporary increase in utility rates back in 2018. The increase paid for repairs following the devastating August floods of that year. The flooding left damage throughout the city's stormwater management facilities. If the referendum fails, the tax would be reverted to pre-2018 levels. Stewards of the area say the current tax is still far below that of other cities. They say the referendum would help accomplish some big goals.
So the referendum does 3 things. It improves the ecological health of Pheasant Branch Conservancy. It's going to build in resilience for flooding so that we don't experience the damage we saw in 2018, and it provides a fair mechanism for funding for all of us that appreciate Pheasant Branch Conservancy.
All property owners would be responsible in the funding of the stormwater utility referendum.
State government is operating on a credit. Check out these numbers. Currently, there's a surplus of $4.6 billion. State also saw its rainy day fund increase to almost $2 billion. That is a record high. Hold on, my battery died.
And that's all right. We'll take over here. That's a record high. The ending balance of the fiscal year is $821 million higher than estimated. The budget included a $423 million transfer from the State General Fund to the Capital Improvement Fund. That will happen this fiscal year. Now, new this morning, a Fitchburg man is in custody after a car chase with drugs involved. It happened overnight into Tuesday morning around 1 a.m. Monona police released this dash cam photo of the car after the chase, as you can take a look here. A Monona police officer noticed a car speeding on the Beltline near US 51. The driver failed to pull over. That's when the officer pursued the vehicle. Other agencies helped capture the driver, and officers arrested the driver for heroin possession and attempting to elude. The incident is one of several this year involving high-speed chases with Monona officers.
Dane County Sheriff's Office is investigating a death. It's after someone found human remains on Sunday. Those remains were found near County Highway Y and Loper Road in the town of Roxbury near Sauk City. Sheriff's Office says an autopsy is complete. The medical examiner's office is working to identify the person.
A new housing project in downtown Madison is prioritizing more eco-friendly construction. Builders broke ground in a ceremony West Main and South Bassett Streets for a new apartment building. This project will create 33 Class A apartments in the heart of the city. Builders will use techniques like mass timber decks and other components manufactured off-site. It's meant to reduce the development's environmental impact.
The brick, together with the insulation we have at the building, creates a highly efficient, high-performing facade. Again, the facade performance from memory is roughly 38% above code. So we are very happy about that.
The apartments are expected to be completed by the end of next summer. Coming up after the break, we'll show you a new East Side Medical Center, how they hope to make patient care more convenient.
And temperatures are cool out there. Most of us across the state of Wisconsin sitting under freezing level. We'll talk about the areas that are a little warmer than that and when wind chills are factored in.
Plus, with flu season upon us, it's time to get my annual vaccine. I'll show you just how easy it is and why now is the time to protect your family.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WIN Senate is responsible for the content of this message.
Save big money at Menards and stock up on your favorite Procter & Gamble products. We carry quality products from brands you can trust, like Dawn, Tide, Bounty, and more. Keep your home clean and stocked with essentials like paper towels, toilet paper, dish soap, and more cleaning supplies. Right now, receive $10 instant savings on a single qualifying purchase of $40 or more on Procter & Gamble products.
Save big money at Menards.
Career politicians like Peter Barca will say anything to get elected. His latest negative ad against Brian Style, it's been called blatantly false. The truth, Style has always supported IVF. He co-sponsored a resolution supporting IVF. And Style backs legislation to help families afford IVF. Peter Barca can sling mud, but we deserve better than just another lying career politician.
I'm Brian Style, and I approve this message.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
News 3 Now is focusing on the issues and the races that matter where you live, with 3 for the people.
Talking with local candidates, looking at both sides of the issues, and fact-checking it all, so you can cast your vote with confidence.
3 for the people, only on News 3 Now. News 3 Now, First Warn Weather is taking you beyond the barometer. Email your weather-related questions to firstwarn@wisc-tv.com, and our team of meteorologists will give you the answers on News 3 Now, live at 4. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
6:42 on your Wednesday. UW Health's new East Park Medical Center is now open.
Executives cut the ribbon to the state-of-the-art facility located east of the interstate yesterday. It's got 7 stories. It's nearly 500,000 square feet, so they got plenty of space. It has healthcare technology seen only in a few other places around the world. The wide range of technology and specialties means patients can receive a variety of care under one roof. The chief operating officer says this will improve patient care.
They can see a specialist in one clinic. They can get an image, an MRI, or a CAT scan in another. They can get their infusion in our infusion bays if they need that. And they can get another consultation in the same day. So really wrapping our care services around a patient rather than making them go from place to place.
Other features include a solar canopy, a pharmacy with a drive-through, gardens, and a cafe.
Walgreens says it is closing about 1,200 locations. That includes 500 over the next year and the 300 announced back in June. Walgreens has not specified which stores it will close. The closures represent a significant escalation from a few months ago. That's when the struggling drugstore chain announced the closure of 300 underperforming locations. It's part of a multi-year optimization program.
You might have the chance to see a comet in the next few days. It's only coming around every 80,000 years, so you might want to get in on this if you want to see it. Last Saturday around noon, it was the closest it'll get to our planet. Over the next week, though, it's become visible about an hour after sunset, just above the horizon near the constellation Virgo. It should be visible in the western sky through next Monday. After that, it won't be visible for another 80,000 years.
Let's check in now with meteorologist Savannah Brito, who's here now with your first warn weather. Good morning.
Good morning. It's quite the chilly start. You can see that blue contour around southern Wisconsin. This is all the coolest air this morning. So Madison now actually tying Omaha and International Falls in Minnesota. The coolest temperatures. We actually beat them both just about a half an hour ago. But as temperatures still fall across those areas, we're not the coolest temperature. I guess we're one of the coolest temperatures still this morning. 31 currently in Madison, but areas just to our west, 28, a little cooler in Middleton, and then 28 also in Sauk City. So there are some areas that are as low. These are actual air temperatures down into the 20s, 20 degrees only in Camp Douglas, and 16 in Black River Falls. Most of southern Wisconsin is waking up under freezing level, although areas towards Milwaukee and Lake Michigan, those places are a little warmer than that. We do have wind chills factored in as well, 19 in Lone Rock. So a few places across southern Wisconsin do have wind chills factored in. That's because those wind speeds are slightly higher. So most of the area not. We don't have one right now in Madison. Janesville and Monroe both do. 24 is what it feels like outside of Monroe, 25 in Janesville. But wind speeds are calm across a lot of southern Wisconsin. That's why we're not waking up to one. But those areas that are above or at 5 miles per hour, Janesville, Monroe, Lone Rock, those places like that do have wind chills factored in. We are gusting, at least in those areas, a little bit higher than that. Those were all sustained winds. Good news is we'll warm up as early as today. Not to average or near normal, but a little warmer than what we had the last couple of days. We're looking at highs in the mid-50s. That's expected under mostly sunny skies. Still cooler than normal, but we'll see warmer temperatures even beyond that. We warm up all the way into the lower 60s on Thursday. After a cool start, we're down to 33 again tonight into tomorrow, where widespread frost is still possible, but still not as cool as what we're waking up with this morning, luckily. We have plenty of 70s in the forecast. Could make a run for that as early as Friday in some spots, 70 Saturday, and then how about that 74 on Sunday? It looks pretty good for this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, not too bad at all. I mean, come on, let's face it. It's going to be gorgeous.
Yes.
It's perfect. It doesn't get much better than that.
Falls back Wednesday, though.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we'll hold on to these 70s while we can.
Yes, we will.
Let's slow things down, see what's going on in the 608 with Josh Sprider this morning.
Josh, what do you have going today?
Good morning, guys. It's become a tradition for me here on News 3 Now this morning over the years. Flu season is quickly approaching, which means shots in arms. Unity Point Health invited me out to once again roll up my sleeve at their Middleton clinic. Well, it is officially time for my yearly visit with Joanna Hubrechts, a nurse practitioner here at Unity Point Health. Meritor, Joanna, good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Can't believe it's that time of the year, but now is the time to get the flu shot.
Yep, time's flying by, and it is definitely flu season now.
So now we're into October, so this is the time that you're kind of recommending folks get in and get that shot in the arm.
That's right. This is the beginning of flu season. This is the best time to get it done. It takes about 2 weeks to get immunity from getting the vaccine, so this is the time.
How is this year shaping up as far as flu?
Well, it sounds like it's going to be pretty much the usual, and so flu season has not started early, so that tells us we'll start really ramping up on cases in November again, as usual.
And now that's why this is the time to do it.
That's right.
Very good. And you're showing it just how easy this is. We do this every year, and this really does not take a lot of time at all. So show us through the ropes here.
Yeah, no time at all. So just make sure that all is clean and good. Make sure we have nice bare arm. You got a good muscle there to put
making
the
it easy with the
vaccine in.
T-shirt for you this year. Sometimes I make you work for it. So
That's true. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm getting mine later today, so I also have a little bit more of a short sleeve.
There you
go. All right, and before you can even count to 2, it'll be all done.
Remember, I always hate needles, so I just have to look away. But there it is. I didn't even feel it.
That was and you're not even bleeding. Do you want a Band-Aid just
You know,
in
I'm
case?
probably okay. So yeah, we're gonna tough it out today. So now's the time. So get in, get that appointment made. And this is for, I mean, your whole family, right? Keeping your family safe.
Absolutely. We want to keep ourselves safe, our families and extended families, keep away from hospitalization and death and really bad illness.
And that's what you guys are here for, right? To help us out through that.
That's right.
Very good, Joanna. Thank you so much. We always appreciate your time here.
No problem.
So the CDC recommends people ages 6 months and older get a flu vaccine by the end of October. And if I can tough out that needle, so can you.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like you were just like waiting for the pain, but it wasn't there.
That actually was probably the easiest process I've ever had. Because, like, you don't want to tense up over the years because I get so nervous. That's been my biggest problem. And then you have the pain later on in that day. I never felt it, like, that whole time. So.
It's that muscle she was talking about.
Yeah.
That muscle.
I will say, and our viewers out there may remember a few years ago when Josh would go through this, you've come a long way in being able to take one of these shots.
I remember one of the first times we did it on the couch, and I had to lay my head down on the couch. It was really dramatic, because I just don't like needles. I know. Dramatic.
I was like, I think I can relate.
Yeah, we've come a long way, and I also remember to wear a short sleeve this year, because we've made it tough in the past, where if you got to make it easy for them.
Good. So all the things you need to know.
Living and learning.
Flu season, get your shot if you need
get
to.
those shots.
All right, Josh, thank you.
Josh is always looking for inspiration to share in the 608. You have an idea you'd like to see featured? Reach out and let him know about it.
And coming up in the morning sprint, where to get a cost-effective Thanksgiving meal.
If you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, we'd love to help him celebrate. Send us a picture. We'll show it on TV.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Out of money, I know. 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay you.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
When my husband got throat cancer, it wasn't just a health crisis. It was a financial one for my family. And that's something rural families know all too well. Joan Ballwig voted against expanding affordable health care for rural families and against bringing drug costs down. And that's one reason I decided to run against her. I'm Sarah Kieski, and I'm running for state senate. Because when someone you love needs medical care, the last thing you should have to worry about is how to pay for it.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
The Packers take on the Texans Sunday at noon.
6:53, time for the morning sprint.
Former President Barack Obama is scheduled to campaign in Madison for the Harris-Walz ticket next week. He'll join the Minnesota Governor, Tim Walz, on Tuesday. That's the same day early voting opens in Wisconsin. The campaign has not announced a time or location. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to visit Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay tomorrow.
Meantime, Senate candidate Eric Hovde is going to be in our viewing area hosting a campaign cookout and concert this evening. It'll be at Five Bridges Farm in Oregon at 6:30. He'll be joined by Senators John Kennedy and John Barrasso. It comes as polling shows a tightening race between Hovde and incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin.
Today is the last day to register to vote online or by mail. Anyone who has moved even to a new apartment in the same building must re-register. If you don't register online, you can still do so in person at absentee voting sites. They open for voting this Tuesday and close on November 1st. You can also register on Election Day. In that case, you'll need to bring proof of residency.
A Fitchburg man is in custody after police say he crashed a car, or a car chase rather. It's had drugs involved. It happened overnight. Tuesday around 1 a.m. a car sped away from a Monona police officer attempting to pull it over. Officers engaged in a chase. Other agencies jumped in to help stop the car and the suspect. Authorities say they found heroin in the suspect's vehicle. Officers arrested the driver for possession and attempting to elude.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office is investigating a death. This is after someone found human remains on Sunday in Roxbury. It happened in the area of County Highway Y and Loper Road. The Sheriff's Office says an autopsy is complete and the medical examiner's office is working to identify the person.
The U.S. is demanding Israel increase humanitarian aid in Gaza. They intend to reduce the supply of weapons if Israel doesn't comply. It comes as the anti-missile defense system that the U.S. is providing along with American troops have begun to arrive in Israel. Meanwhile, Israel's defense minister is vowing to respond to Iranian attacks. All of this as fighting in Gaza and Lebanon continue.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper says 92 people are still missing. This is nearly 3 weeks after Hurricane Helene ravaged the state. That's in addition to 125 people that were killed there. Leaders of a key federal program that provide disaster loans announced they're out of money. President Biden has urged Congress to come back early from its recess to authorize funding.
Well, if you're looking for a Thanksgiving meal on a budget, Aldi is lowering the price of its holiday basket. The grocery chain says its Thanksgiving basket this year is at its lowest price since before the pandemic. $47. You get a butterball turkey, rolls, mac and cheese, cranberry sauce, and stuffing mix.
Temperatures are chilly early this morning. Will actually be a little warmer than what we had yesterday. 56, that's our high today. We're down to 33 again tonight. Widespread frost is possible. Not as chilly as those 20s that we have across lots of southern Wisconsin this morning. Plenty of 60s and 70s though on that 10-day. In fact, there's only 2 50s. The rest are 60s and 70s.
All right, so embrace the warmth while you can.
Yeah, get outside this weekend. It's going to be beautiful.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
We're back in 30 minutes.